Right, good morning. You guys look fantastic coming in here. So I'm Dr. Tammy Clark. I am the Dean of Clinics at Palmer West, and I'd like to extend a special welcome to our current 9th quarter class and all their family, friends, and faculty. And I'd also like to give a very special shout out and thanks to Chuck, to our facilities and IT team, as well as your class coordinator, Stephanie, for all their hard work in helping today come together for this group. So today's pinning ceremony will mark us officially recognizing the newest group of Palmer West chiropractic interns. This pinning ceremony is a significant milestone in their journey to become a chiropractor. It marks the culmination of 2.5 years of hard work thus far, and it also marks the beginning of the next phase of their chiropractic education, which is their clinical internship. You all represent a new generation of resilient and persistent students. You've been forced to learn adaptability in order to navigate your studies and your lives in a landscape that was unexpectedly changed by a pandemic. And a little over a year ago, we all got the unexpected news that Palmer West will be phasing out operations on the West Campus. Once again, you adapted and you persisted. You continued to follow your dreams, and here you are on the doorstep of your internship. I think we can all agree that all of you have undergone a tremendous amount of personal and professional growth and transformation over the last couple of years. You've been preparing for this day through countless hours of studying, countless classes, more exams than you want to count, and hours and hours of hands-on practice and hands-on training. This quarter, you've been learning to work in student clinic, and you've been figuring out how to navigate our electronic health record system, which is a beast to learn. So you've made that, you've made it through that. You are going to be great. You are ready. Today, we will mark your official transformation from student to intern. Your class is a unique group of individuals, and you're now going to be joining the larger cohort made up of Palmer interns, clinicians, and clinic staff. As we welcome you into the clinic, we will all be working together with the common goal of providing the best possible care to our patients. As you begin seeing patients in the outpatient clinic setting, you'll have times where you'll feel overwhelmed, maybe even a little uncertain. You'll be overcome with doubt at times. And I want to encourage you to embrace all of those experiences in the clinic, even your uncertainties. Allow them to change you and allow them to grow you. Work together, continue to work together, support each other, and make every effort to get the most out of your clinic experience. As we continue with today's ceremony, I'd like to use this as an opportunity to remind all of you why you are here today. You're here because you've chosen to take on the responsibility of becoming a physician. You've chosen a career where you're going to be responsible for guiding your patients towards optimal health. You're here because you wanted to make a difference. And you have made the brilliant decision to choose Palmer West to learn to become the best doctor of chiropractic you could possibly be. In this next year that's coming ahead of you, you'll be building your very first chiropractic practice. I always use this as an opportunity to remind you that it is your very first practice. Some of you are dreaming of your first practice after you graduate. And I'm going to challenge you to be thinking of this as the first practice that you will be developing and growing, the one that you'll have here at the Palmer West Clinic. Here you'll be responsible for the care and management of your patients. You'll be promoting and growing this first practice of yours. You'll be working with an exceptional staff that's here to support you. You'll have colleagues that you're going to be collaborating with, and you'll be guided by your mentor clinicians. It'll be up to you how much effort you put into this first practice of yours, and it'll be up to you how much you get out of it. Here at the Palmer West Clinic, we hold a very high bar. Your time in the clinic is much, much more than just earning the minimum amount of credits necessary to graduate. It's going to be about getting the maximum experience possible and laying the foundation that will shape the kind of doctor you will be in your future. Today truly is a special day, a day I hope that you will look back on and remember. I still remember my pinning ceremony, and that was quite a while ago, and I'll never forget the patients that I had when I was an intern at Palmer. And like I said, I was thinking about this with some friends of mine, and that was almost 30 years ago. And I look back and think I can remember their names, their faces, their conditions. The patients that you have in Palmer West, as well as you go into practice, there'll be faces on the conditions that you learned about. And when you put a face on the condition, you'll never forget. And that starts here. Trust me when I say that the next year of your career is going to be the most formative and memorable time of your life. And it is going to move fast. I consider it a great privilege that we get to be a part of your journey. And I trust that you'll all continue to make us proud as you enter into your outpatient clinic experience. Now, I'm going to invite our Senior Campus Administrator and Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Snow, to the podium to say a few words to you, and then we'll continue on with our ceremony.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations to you guys. Big day for you. I still remember my pinning ceremony, which was well before Dr. Clark's, but I'm not going to give you a number of years. Complicated math. Can you guys hear me okay way back there? Good, thank you. I'll stop shouting then. But the pinning ceremony is when we, sorry, not when we, but when we recognize you guys becoming the face of Palmer. And so, you know, so far they're like working super hard to advance their knowledge, their skills, and their attitudes so that they can become the outstanding doctors of chiropractic that they're going to be. And the big change now is, yes, they go out and they're treating patients, but they're in the clinic, and it's a public clinic, and the patient's coming in to see them. Sometimes it's a family member or a friend, but a lot of what we see are people who are coming in because they have real problems, and they're giving up their time and their money so they can get better health. And that's an equation that you have to work on the rest of your careers, is balancing that for your patients. I always point out to them that, yes, it's a huge responsibility, right? People are putting their time, money, and their trust in you to get better. And so recognize that now you and your actions on campus, in the clinic, off campus, are being judged in terms of you as a professional. And always keep that in mind. I honestly feel that you probably have enough knowledge and experience at this point that we could cut you loose at the end of this quarter and you could go out and thrive out in the world eventually. Does that scare anybody? Or like maybe it scares us. It probably scares you, I would assume. And you know, it's springtime, and I like to grow vegetables, and so at springtime always makes me think. And I grow a lot of tomatoes, and I like to think of the clinic as your time to ripen on the vine. And you know, if you ever get those tomatoes in the winter time, right? They're red on the outside, but there's not much to them on the inside, right? Because they pick them green and they sat in storage, and then you end up eating them, and they kind of taste like plastic. That's not what we want for you. So you have this opportunity over the next year, or next year, to ripen on the vine, right? And you need an environment that helps you do that. And you could not have come to a place, I think, in chiropractic education that provides you with better soil from which to develop into some really outstanding tomatoes. I don't know if that's but to ripen in a way that you're really a valued commodity once you leave here, and you will serve your patients extremely well. And so, as Dr. Clark said, this is your first practice, and you really need to approach it that way, because how you spend this next year and how you develop over this next year is going to accelerate the first practice you have and your growth and development in it once you leave here. So the more you put into it, the more hours, the more thinking, the more dedication that you put into this next year, the farther you move along the scale towards being confident and competent in your next practice. And that's a logarithmic scale, right? It starts out kind of like this, and then at some point you grow, and then you get to a point where you're satisfied and you plateau there. And so you have this opportunity for growth over this next year, and I really strongly encourage you to take advantage of it. I know, having been involved with clinics for 15 years plus a clinician in my history, I know not everyone comes in with angst about finishing on time. I can tell you that should be the least of your concerns. The only people who don't finish on time are people who have either choices or priorities that pull them out of the system, who don't spend the time there. I don't have a patient, I won't show up. Then the patient comes in that doesn't have an intern, and you don't get that patient. So your commitment to being present, available, and ready outside of what you have on your schedule is how you get ahead. But our clinic system is robust. We struggle more finding interns for patients than finding patients for interns. Lucky you. And they're great experiences. They're, for lack of a better word, they're patients who are here because they need help. That's a fabulous experience for you, and it helps with your growth. And there's one other thing I want to talk about with your growth, because how many people here are concerned or like a little anxious about their adjusting skills? Right? Fine. Your adjusting skills are eons better than mine were. Okay? And I was in Gonstead Club every week, and Gonstead elective, we used to have it every quarter. You could retake it every quarter from second quarter on. Okay. News for you, though, your adjusting is going to be fine. If it's not now, it will be shortly. There's a different skill that you need, that you have the opportunity to work on, that's probably more important, sadly but true, than your adjusting skills, and your exam skills, and your diagnosis skills. That's your ability to communicate. Effective communication is probably the most important thing you need as a healthcare provider to talk to your patients, explain what you do, why you do it, and why they should seek out your services. And so, yes, you'll be adjusting. Yes, you'll be diagnosing and evaluating and creating care plans. And you've been really well trained in all that. And you've had a lot of exposure to it, right? And you'll be good at that. You'll be great at it. But how much time have you had and opportunity have you had talking about what you do and why and explaining it? Probably not as much, right? So what I want to encourage you to do is expand your comfort zone when it comes to seeking out opportunities to talk to people about what you do, why you do it, why it's beneficial. Because it is becoming comfortable with and confident in creating answers to those questions. And the more you hear the questions, the more you develop a better answer. And there's not that many of them. You'll get the same ones over and over again. You guys can help. Ask them hard questions. So tell me, what do you do as a doctor of chiropractic? If you have a concern, or a question or something in the back of your mind, ask them. And when they give you a bad answer, say, I don't think I'm going to your office. Because the hard part about chiropractic and probably a lot of, independent healthcare, like private practice scenarios, it's not getting people well, it's getting them in to get them well. And then making them understand why they have to stay there to continue to get well, right? So, you have this opportunity to develop all your skills, but also to develop, more importantly, your communication skills over this next year. And so, don't shy away from it. Look for opportunities, reach out to people. Don't be afraid to ask someone, have you tried chiropractic? And then be able to explain to them or get comfortable. And even if you blow it, that's one less time in the future you're going to blow it as badly. Right? It's a growth process just like you're adjusting. So I know you guys have extremely bright futures, and we'll do this again a year from now, and you'll probably be a little anxious then too. But please take advantage, make the most of it, represent yourself, Palmer, and the profession well, and have a lot of fun along the way. You're going to be probably surprised how easily you get people better. But it's what we do, and it's why what we do is so great. So congratulations to you all, and best of luck over the next year. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Snow. Next, I'd like to introduce our ASG president, Greg Nelson, and he's going to come to the podium and speak to you a little bit on behalf of the student body. Greg?
Okay, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hey, there we go. Well, as Dr. Clark mentioned, my name is Greg Nelson. I'm the student body president here at Palmer West, and I just want to congratulate you guys right off the bat. You guys look amazing. You look fantastic. You all are going to be great interns in the student clinic, so I can't watch you guys grow. I'm honored and humbled to speak to this court. They're an amazing court. I know a lot of them. A few of them are actually in my club with me per se, so I'm just incredibly proud of all of them. I actually remember sitting there in those seats just last quarter, guys, and be proud of that accomplishment. I just felt some electricity flow through me, just excitement, just wanting to get out there and be a better doctor, be a better student. And then think back to your journey, like where you started, quarter one, you're learning all your palpation skills, you're learning about anatomy, you're learning about all the neuroanatomy stuff, sciences. Now you're into diagnosing. Now you're kind of more critically thinking about what's going on inside of the body, per se, of that person. Kind of like, okay, what's this, you all have your findings, that sort of thing. So just think back to all the growth that you guys have shown through this time, these last 2 years. And the next year, it's going to fly by. You're going to go through outpatient clinics, seeing other things. So the assignment is it's right around the corner. And then think about all the seminars that you've been to, all the boards, all the late night study sessions that you guys did, all the endless nights. You're just like, some nights you're just crying. You're just like, wow, I failed that exam. Like, don't know what happened. But then you had your accomplishments. You had your goals that you reached, and this is one of your goals that you reached, was to get here. So kind of let that sink in. You're becoming a part of Palmer West history. Like, you are part of that history that is here, getting pinned into student clinic as interns. And the few that have spoken today, like, start creating your own legacy. Start looking at the patient, inspection, palpation, all that stuff. Like, what the habits that you guys are going to do today is what's going to dictate you in the future as your future doctor. So let that kind of sink in, and know that you guys are going to do your best out there in the real world when you get out there. So, and I'll leave you guys with this. I want to make this short and sweet. Leave the world better off than it was before. Leave it the way that it was. Leave it better. You guys are going to do amazing. I can't wait to see you guys in outpatient, right? Outpatient. And then go today, celebrate with your family who has pushed you guys to be who you guys are today. Go and celebrate, have some fun, Thank you guys again for letting me speak, and congratulations again, guys.
Thank you, Greg. It's always nice to hear a student's perspective to our interns as well, especially one that just transitioned into clinic himself. I want to take a moment just to help you guys realize how much these guys have been through to get them to this point. I think it's hard to appreciate from the outside looking in. These guys have gone through, in the last 2.5 years, so many hours and hours of studying and preparation for this day. And you guys appreciate it because you've gone through it together. You guys have supported it from the outside. So thank you for that, and thank you guys for continuing to support each other, but we acknowledge the hard work it's taken to lead to this day. So before we begin this official pinning part of the pinning ceremony, I'd like to share some final thoughts with you to reflect on as we go through and put these pins on your lapels. I want you to reflect on and think about the discoveries that you're going to make as you continue forward on your path to become a doctor. So as we go through the pinning part, ponder these discoveries that you're going to be making. In the coming year, you're going to discover the power of your touch and the importance of your words. You're going to discover how important it is to understand that your patients are human beings, not just diagnoses to be treated or credits to earn. You're going to discover that to understand pain means that you truly have to understand who your patients are. You have to understand their values, their worries, their hopes, their dreams, what motivates them. You have to get to know them. You're going to discover that empathy and the human connection is critical to the healing process. You're going to discover the humbling honor and responsibility associated with overseeing your patient's care personally and with excellence. You're going to discover that being a chiropractor is going to mean a lifetime of learning. And mostly, you're going to discover that being a chiropractor is truly a calling, not just a profession. As you go out in the world as a chiropractor, you are going to forever represent Palmer West. And I have no doubt that you will represent us well. And with that said, we are going to officially pin you into the outpatient clinic. That sounds really intimidating. Like you don't have no time with respect. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is, first off, I'd like to introduce Dr. Galbetti, who is our amazing director of clinic. You are going to get to know him very well in the next year. He's going to come up and help me with the pinning part of the ceremony. He's going to call your names, but first, before he does that, we have to do one of the hardest things of the ceremony. We have to move this podium. So give us just a minute. So what we're going to do now is Dr. Betty is going to call your name. As you come forward, we're going to be taking pictures. So as you come forward, Chuck's going to take a picture as I hold the pin, and then I'll pin it on your lapel, and then I'll shake your hand and he'll do another photo. So there'll be 2 chances to do pictures on here. Hopefully you'll get one of them where one or the other of us isn't blanking. All right.
All right, here we go. Stephanie Albano. Leilani Begay. Miles Bradford. Jake Hedrick. Vipul Jolly. Alexander Lai. Brian Lee. Nate Lear. Rose McFarland. Kibum Park. Abby Sampont. Jose Villegas. Adam Weiss. Addison Williams. not least, Nicholas Wood. Congratulations, interns. I look forward to seeing you in the jungle of outpatient clinic.
All right, if you would join me in giving a round of applause to our newest group. Next time we'll be gathering as a big group like this is going to be a year from now when they transition from intern to doctor at their graduation. So we look forward to seeing you again in a year, and hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the day celebrating with your loved ones. There's some coffee in the back, feel free to enjoy. Thank you guys for coming.